Hello, everyone. This is Renee Piani and Clayton Norcross. Hi,
Hello,
Clay.
everybody.
This is Get Real About Love Tips, week 7. I think it's week 17.
17.
So
Wow.
excited. And today's our spicy topic. Let's talk about sex. And I know everybody loves to talk about sex, and I get calls about it all the time. And I'm sure after seeing all the women that are attracted to you from watching these videos, I'm
Oh,
sure that
wow.
you probably get confronted with the whole sex thing. I mean, so how do you feel about this whole topic after reading the chapter?
Well, obviously, sex is a lovely thing to develop in your life, and to have love combined with it that I think makes it the most fulfilling. I mean, certainly we've all sowed our wild oats a time or two, and we know the difference between just having sex and making love. I much prefer to make love. And that means I have to do some investigation about who I'm having sex with. So that really turns into something much deeper and more fulfilling.
People call me all the time saying they had a connection with somebody online. They met somebody special, and they're like, the sexual chemistry is so strong, and I just don't know what to do. And I said, well, why won't you just take it slow and get to know them the old-fashioned way? Well, I feel a little bit of pressure. So I always tell people, if the chemistry is there in the beginning, it's still going to be there 3 dates from now or a month from now. Why don't you just build the energy with being loving and kissing and touching without going all the way? I mean, there's sexual energy, and then there's just, that raging passion that overtakes people when they're drinking, when they're lonely.
Yeah.
And sometimes people drop their panties a little too soon. So, and I know the men that come on my man panels have somewhat of a judgment. I mean, I think that they'll say, I really liked her, but we got involved a little too soon, and then they get scared. The women expect things. Has that
Well,
happened to
yeah,
you?
and men too. They a lot of men are trying to hook a woman up way too fast before. A lot of women go into a date going, let me just see how this goes. Let me just see who this guy is, how he comes across, how do I feel with him. And women classically warm up, in my experience, much slower than men do. A lot of men are very visual. They see a beautiful woman. I'm going to make this woman a wife. This woman's going to have my children. Before the end of the first date, he's planning 6 months down the line, and anyway, so we get out ahead of ourselves and we get excited, we get inebriated. We oftentimes are just not in a good conscious place about what we're creating, is my perception.
Well, that's why the chapter says, let's talk about sex, because I think it's really important for you to know the values that people wrap around sex. And
Right.
so many people are
What does it mean?
uncomfortable talking about it. And so we are going to have this part 1 and part 2 of this, but it's up to you. This is one of the secrets in the book, to take care of yourself if you know that you get enmeshed with somebody too soon when you have sex. And there's a lot of people that are Tindering, and people are on all sorts of Bumble, and
Sure.
it's all about hookups. So people do have hookups, and I have no judgment, but I say that if you're looking for a long-term thing, it might be better to take it slow. So not everybody agrees with me on this, but I found that, I'm a sexual person. I'm Italian. I'm very passionate. The Italians, I know you worked in Italy. I mean, are the Italians in a rush over in Italy? Do you think they rush
Oh,
in?
I think, the Mediterranean way is very romantic, and sex obviously is a natural precursor of romance. But I think even creating some anticipation of a fulfilling sexual relationship, tight, enticing, teasing, innuendo, letting someone know that you really like them and that you're looking forward to the time when you can share that much of yourself. So there's a way to talk about it, I think, that's not necessarily boring, but it really builds the anticipation and therefore the enjoyment of love making.
I always tell people, if you're out on dates, like the first, second, or third date, and you're drinking, and then you end up going back to either her house or his house or wherever house you end up, the other person's thinking, this could be a green light signal that he or she is ready for sex. So you have to have a conversation about it, unless you want to get yourself in trouble. And then if you start drinking, sometimes I think that your inhibitions kind of go out the window. And
One of the things that, let me speak to that just a minute. One of the things that I've decided to do is I've put down drink for the foreseeable future for me, because I realize that it takes me to an unconscious place
yeah,
where I'm no longer in control of the situation and what I really want deep down. It makes me much
right.
more impulsive. So that moved out of the way. It removes a major obstacle for me being aware of who I'm with. Do we share the same values about this? And I think there's a non-boring, actually complimentary way to say, hey, you know what? You look so good to me. I can see the day when I would really enjoy seeing a lot more of you. And,
Yeah.
and, and I would like to know, first of all, are you seeing that in our future? And if so, what does it mean to you to do that with someone? And so it becomes a compliment rather than a heaviosity.
I hear this story and I'm going to read this. This is a typical date night. You go for dinner, she drop, and go to drop her off at your place. She's coming to say goodnight. The next thing you know, you're kissing on the couch, and then pieces of your clothing start to peel off. And then you're like, oh my God, what did I just do? So you kind of are in this situation. So this is a good time to express your truth. And I wrote a script in here. So it says, first sit up, take a deep breath, maybe pet their arm and say, wow, I am so attracted to you. This is what you just said. And Bob or Steve, this is fun, but this is going just a little too fast for me, because chemistry is just over the top. I think we have something good here. So what do you think about slowing this down a little bit? Just speak from your heart, and they're gonna know that you're worth waiting for. Now, a
Yeah.
lot of people have to take themselves out of the couch into the bathroom. So when I used to have this happen when I was dating, even with my own husband, I was getting heated up, went into the bathroom, and I looked at myself. I'm like, Renee, do we really want to do this? I mean, is this the right time? And my little voice, my little girl will go, no, it's not the right time. The other part's going, yes, it feels good. So when you're in conflict, then wait. Wait. It's better to wait. So it works, build the energy, build the energy.
Yeah, and make it a fun thing. I'm not here to present a downer. And I haven't always followed my own advice. Believe me, I love passion, and I love women. But I love more specifically now a woman who is right for me, because I've spent too much time in long distance things, pining, wanting, working way too hard. And now I'm into, spending more quality time with myself so that I'm the right man. And then when I'm out there doing my service in the world, I'm going to be attracting women who are in that sphere anyway, and who are going to be much more likely right for me, but still merit slowing down and seeing what's there supporting this new house I want to build. Am I building my house on the sand, or am I building a strong foundation?
I followed that advice even with my own husband. As handsome as he was and as much chemistry as we had, you could have melted a building, and we both decided that it would be better for us to wait, because he was dating 3 women and I was seeing other men, and we met, and I said, you should go do all your fun, playful, playgirl things with somebody else, because I want real love. So that's why this follows our last show, Creating Your Vision. I knew what I wanted. I was very clear. So once you're clear, you don't have to be afraid to bring it up, because it's a very personal thing.
Well, it is, and everybody's got a slightly different viewpoint about it. So just don't assume anything, I think, is the critical issue. And as we come up on our time here with a minute left, I think I just want to make the point that let's let love come to a full fruition here. Let's smile at each other, give each other the affirmation that we're hungry for, but also say, I want this to be as rich as it can be. And looking back on my situations, I wish that I had waited longer and really let myself get to know someone before I got my oxytocin flowing, and I was practically halfway down the river before I would catch myself and realize that I had gone a little too fast for my own heart.
Well, take a look at yourself. You're a big boy and girl, and you can decide. And we are going to come back with part 2 with how to discuss sex before you drop your panties. And it's really good. So stay tuned.